we did touch on it just a second ago, but Kansas overall as a track, the racing today was just absolutely lights out from the start. You had stage one, arguably one of the best stages we've had in the next gen car. Over half of the stage, it felt like, where the leaders were side by side, whether it was Denny Hamlin, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Larson. Those are the three guys. It felt like kind of the usual suspects early on in this race. And when I say they were, side by side, it was guys trying the high line passing you, and then on the low line passing you, and just basically flipping back and forth, back and forth. You'd blink, they'd change positions and lines again. And you thought, oh man, they're racing really aggressive for 35 laps into this race. Can they keep this up? Ultimately, the race pace was there today. I mean, you saw a little bit of a fuel save there toward the end, but Kansas Speedway, another year where it delivers with this next gen car. It feels like the next gen car was made for a track like Kansas. It is perfectly fit to it.
It is. It's the multi-lines. It's the progressive banking. It's all of it. It just creates this perfect storm for guys to just really be able to show the racecraft. And that's what matters here, is being able to put together lap after lap and finding new lines and finding ways that you can, make passes and, get out of dirty air. And it just seemed, this is, like you said, it feels like for whatever reason, this track is what makes next gen racing what NASCAR anticipated it to be. I mean, as a fan base, I think we need to start, setting up encampments on college campuses to make sure that we race more 1.5 mile ovals. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm about to stand on a freaking desk and say we need to, like I said, we need to race at Kansas more often. We need more tracks like Kansas. Like I said, this is, after watching this has me just so excited, because week after week, it seems like NASCAR does this to where it builds and builds and the tension builds. And then all of a sudden you get to about, 10 laps to go in stage 3. And then something happens that just takes the air out of it. And here, even with the caution, the Kyle Busch spin that we thought was going to take a little bit of the air out of it, it elevated it. And I think that's just a testament to Kansas, the track that is Kansas. I think, when you line them up and get them on a restart, you're going to get something interesting, just because guys have to make decisions. And when you put the race in the driver's hands, they're going to make it interesting. These are the best race car drivers in the world. And anytime you give them, more control over the outcome of the race, as opposed to just like aero or engineering or anything like that, that's what the fans are there to see. And as a NASCAR fan, I'm smiling from ear to ear after watching this, because it was 3 stages of drivers having to make decisions, pit crews having to execute, and ultimately we got the best finish that we've ever seen. I mean, what more could you ask for in this race?
It really did check every box there, Ad. It had a Jimmy Johnson wreck. It had fuel saving. It had pit road mistakes, comers and goers. It had the photo finish. It checked every box there. And you mentioned, Kansas hosting the championship. I'm really interested to see, because it is a playoff race, so it is in the fall. They would go back there for the second date. That being said, the championship race is in November, so it's going to be a little bit colder in Kansas City, but I'm open to the fact that you can do this. I mean, like I said, they're already there in the fall. Today it was 60. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit colder probably in November down in Kansas City, but you've got the casino in the backdrop. You've got the facilities there that can handle a championship event. You're already in a major media market in Kansas City. There, you're in a major city in the U.S. It's in the heartland of America. Something different. A city like that will go all in for a NASCAR event like that. They have the championship. I know it's during football season when the Chiefs are the king there, but you have a place at the table if you really want to do something special there. Especially if you've been to that area before. It's a really developed area. It's got the soccer stadium there, which is world class. It's got a huge shopping center, a theme park. So it's a really developed area. It's not like a lot of these NASCAR tracks where it's out in the middle of nowhere, I know it's Kansas and Kansas City, but at least it's a good area for at least, like Phoenix, where it's right in the middle of the city.
And nothing to do with racing, but Buc-ee's just bought a massive plot of land. They're putting a giant Buc-ee's outside of this thing. So, I mean, at this point, Bob, if that's not championship material, I don't know what is. I mean, you've got a casino, you've got great facilities, and you've got a Buc-ee's. What more do you need to host a great championship for NASCAR?
Add in some pretty good barbecue, and I'm here to say that Breaking Balls is going to be pushing for Kansas to be a considerate on the championship race when they finally do move it around from Phoenix there, Ad.